Imagine this: a world-renowned violinist stands in a bustling metro station, playing some of the most beautiful masterpieces ever written, while passengers rush by, oblivious to the extraordinary experience unfolding right in front of them. What if I told you that only 7 people stopped to listen? Join me as we explore this fascinating social experiment that reveals not only our disconnection from the extraordinary moments hidden in our daily lives. Are we missing out on the magic around us? Let's find out. In January 2007, the Washington Post embarked on a psychosocial experiment to explore how we perceive art and beauty in our daily lives. They chose an unusual setting, the L'Enfant Plaza metro station in Washington, D.C. The main protagonist of this story was Joshua Bell, one of the world's best violinists, who would perform a series of classical pieces in this environment. The idea was risky, as Bell would play early in the morning, just when people rush around trying to get to work or are lost in their own thoughts. It seemed unlikely that anyone would stop to enjoy music, no matter how sublime. Amid the hustle and bustle of the metro, big questions arose. Could beauty truly be noticed in the chaos of daily routine? Or are people so caught up in their fast-paced lives that they overlook the wonders around them? On January 12th, these questions would be answered in quite a surprising way. No one at the station had any idea that the violinist standing against one of the metro walls was one of the greatest classical musicians in the world, playing some of the most masterful pieces ever written on one of the most valuable violins ever made, a Stradivarius Gibson X Huberman, valued at that time at $3.5 million. Just 3 days before his appearance at the metro station, Bell had filled the majestic Symphony Hall in Boston, and 2 weeks later, he was scheduled to perform at the Music Center at Strathmore in North Bethesda. But on that day, Joshua Bell was just another musician trying to make a living, competing for the attention of hurried and distracted commuters. Dressed in jeans, a t-shirt, and a baseball cap, he positioned himself next to a trash can and took his violin out of a small case. He opened the case at his feet and tossed in some dollars and coins to make it look like there was money there. Without being recognized, he prepared to play some of the most beautiful pieces of classical music. He began to play, creating an almost symphonic sound that resonated throughout the station. Over the course of 43 minutes, he performed 6 masterpieces, starting with the complex and challenging Chaconne by Bach, a piece that few musicians can master. During the 3/4 of an hour that Joshua Bell played, only 7 people paused to listen and enjoy the performance, even for just a minute. Throughout that time, only one person recognized him, but that happened almost at the end. It was a woman who had attended a free concert by Bell at the Library of Congress 3 weeks earlier. She was confused, as she didn't understand why a violinist of that caliber was there playing and asking for money. She had no idea what was happening, but she wasn't going to miss it. She positioned herself 3 meters away from Bell, front and center, and with a smile on her face, she stayed until he finished playing. Only 27 passers-by gave money, most of them without stopping, totaling $32.17. The rest of the people walked by, not even bothering to look. Bell's performance, which could have been a transcendent event in a grand concert hall, became a reflection of our disconnection from our surroundings and the beauty that envelopes us. The experience of music is not only about the artist's talent but also about the connection created between the performer and the audience. By walking past, many missed the chance to experience a unique and inspiring moment. 7 years later, in 2014, Bell played again in a similar public space, but this time the atmosphere was entirely different. He performed surrounded by thousands of applauding fans at Washington's Union Station, a true national treasure. On this occasion, the talent and beauty he offered were met with the applause he deserved. People knew in advance who he was and were ready to receive and enjoy the magic in each of his performances. The story of Joshua Bell at the L'Enfant Plaza metro station is a powerful reminder of how disconnected we can be from the world around us. Our daily lives are marked by a frantic pace, and we often overlook extraordinary moments that may be more common than we imagine. Bell's sublime music became mere background noise for the passengers passing by that morning. To understand what happened, we must consider that the appreciation of art, music, and beauty is a social construct that heavily depends on the context in which they are presented. It's not just about how talented Bell is, it's also about the image he projected in that particular environment and moment. The experiences, beliefs, and emotions of each individual present influenced how they perceived what was happening, limiting their ability to appreciate the masterful music being performed. These mental projections act as filters that sometimes restrict our understanding of the world and lead us to make judgments that reflect our internal state more than the external reality. By recognizing these filters, we begin to question our own judgments and open ourselves to new perspectives. When Bell presented himself as a street musician, many of the passers-by, caught up in their routines, ignored his music, assuming it didn't deserve their attention. He simply became part of the usual scenery that rarely sparks interest. Immanuel Kant, the 18th-century German philosopher, argued that to appreciate beauty, the conditions of observation must be optimal. This not only refers to the physical environment but also to the level of chaos or calm within us. If those who passed by Bell had heard him in a theater, knowing who he was, they would likely have appreciated the depth and beauty of his music, as their conditions of observation and mental projections would have been very different. This story invites us to reflect on the importance of being fully present in every life experience. The extraordinary often hides in the mundane. Perhaps we should learn to pause and observe what surrounds us, opening our senses to live each moment more fully. By doing so, we not only enrich our lives but also cultivate a greater appreciation for the small wonders around us, thereby reclaiming our capacity for awe. It's about giving ourselves the opportunity for each moment to be extraordinary so that at the end of our day, it sums up to a collection of extraordinary moments. Life offers us a beautiful melody, and we just need to open our hearts to appreciate and enjoy it. By practicing mindfulness, every ray of sunshine, every shared laugh, and every moment of calm transforms into a note of that symphony. Learning to listen to this music, not just in grand moments but also in small details, allows us to discover fullness in every experience we have. If this story resonated with you, we'd be thrilled if you liked and subscribed. Join our community so you won't miss any of our upcoming stories and reflections. Your support means the world to us. Thank you for being here, and we can't wait to share more inspiring moments with you next time.